What's up, everyone? I just saw that there was no music throughout the entire intro, and we're still not hearing anything. Cause why would it? Why would it? Of course not. I'm thinking Let's see what's going on. There we go. Some music in the background to get the party started. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Camera Junkie live stream. We had to do it this way, right? Episode 200. We're here for the celebration of 200 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream. And as always, I thank you all for taking the time and hanging out here with me. I will have to give this 100% to Sonoma's update. So I decided out of one of my two computers to update my Mac Mini to the Sonoma, and that just made everything go to SHIT because of the simple reason that it logged me out of everything. So just simply to put on some music, I had to bring out my MacBook Air and then start ripping cables out and plugging things in just to get things going, to then finally hear everything through the Rodecaster Pro and not have that connect to the live stream. So there was no microphone and no audio, no music, no nothing. But now we're on track and we're here to show you that, hey guys, live happens. And there's been plenty of faux pas on this live stream throughout the 200 episodes that we've done it, and I can't wait to see which are going to be the new ones in the future, because there's plenty more to come. I see no end in sight. But if it's your first time here, welcome. You know, it usually goes a lot smoother than this, but if it is your first time here, my name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I remind you to upgrade your skills before your gear. And if it is your first time here, please be sure to introduce yourself into the chat so you can get the nice Camera Junkie crew welcome. And to start the festivities, the first thing that we always do is we go ahead and check out to see who are the first members of the Camera Junkie crew who are hanging out here with us. So let's go ahead and do that right away. Bam. There we are. And let's see who's been patient while they're hanging out. I don't remember putting this there. It says chat is now open to everyone. Well, hi everyone. That's me. And yeah, we'll keep rolling. First thing we have here is we have Yolanda saying hello. We also have Parker Jennings hanging in the house. Paul Duncan, Mr. Moderator, saying what's up to the fam. Saying hi to Michael. He's letting everyone know stand by. Technical difficulties. We gotta have them. We got to have them. But if it's a learning experience, it just goes to show you, like, even 200 episodes in, things happen. You just gotta roll with the punches and keep it going. That's it. Because things will fix themselves out, and in a couple minutes, nobody will be the wiser. And in the edit, we'll take that out. All right. Michael H in the house saying, hey y'all, finally make a live stream perfect time. Congrats on 200. Thank you. It is a personal milestone, which I am very proud of, because no matter how many technical difficulties we might have, we usually have life difficulties as well, things that get in the way during the week. And to be able to say that for 200 consecutive weeks, and we're just creeping up on 4 years, so very close to 4 years of doing this every Saturday, and there's no other place that I'd rather be. We have Jeremy in the house saying what's up to the fellow Camera Junkies. We got Kevin Cox in the house as well, saying hello to all. He's also saying congrats on 200. Keep driving on the consistency train. Thank you very much. You see, and that's the thing, because the consistency is something that I am in complete control of. You understand? So that's why I said I'm proud of it, because it's something that I was able to strive for and continue to do. All right. Yep, and this is Kevin saying, sounds like you might not have the right mic. I actually think it was trying to use the microphone from the iPhone XR. That's how crazy the situation was going off right there to start things off. But see, no, it wasn't you. It was this whole debacle. But we march on. We march on. You see? There we go. Kevin's got it. Says, there we go. All right. This is a metal emoji. Okay. Okay, so now we're back on track to see exactly where it's at. It says we've been warned about upgrading. Yes, the Sonoma. That's the whole thing. I wasn't gonna do my Mac Studio, and I'm still holding off, right? But this is the thing that happened to me. I said, you know what? Let me update my Mac Mini to see exactly how it goes. So I do that one because it's like the less important machine, right? It's not the workhorse. So everything has been working fine, but the one problem that I've been struggling with, hands down, is that now that one's on Sonoma, or whatever it is, because I could be mixing the names, but once that one got updated, now the universal control no longer works, right? So now I have to switch my mouse from the button underneath whenever I want to control it, I used to just slide the mouse over there and do everything that I needed to do. So once I did that, then it's compartmentalizing the computers, which was not cool. And now when I went to log into Epidemic Sound to play the music, it totally kicked me out. And you know what? Let me see if I can show you guys. No, that's this screen. Over here, we have the white screen, right? And when I go to select, it says your login attempt timed out. Login will start from the beginning. I'm like, what? And that's this red mark. I know you can't read it, but that red mark right there. And I usually just log in with my Google account, which I'm logged into the browser. So it's not like Google is saying, hey, you know what? We don't know who you are. Google is logged into the browser, and that's how I would always log in. And it just said, nope, today, you know what? You're timed out. It's nuts. So that's why I was ripping cables out and different things like that. You know what? Let's close this as well. And we don't have to worry about the Mac Mini for the remainder of the show. But I digress. Oh, that wasn't the right scene. We were in the comments window. Oh, and you see, this is what I'm saying. Now my mouse is still stuck over there. Where are you? There we go. All right, comments. Boom. So that's it. I've said my piece. Water under the bridge. Hey, the Daily Man's in the house. Carlos says, congrats on the Iron Man of live streams. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have been running Sonoma for months. See, he's been fine. So it's just, you know, to each his own. But I think now the biggest problem that I'm having is the difference between Sonoma and the previous one. Which one's this one? I forgot the name of it. Wait, this is Sonoma. So which one's the new one? I could be saying the wrong name. What? Sorry. Sonoma is fine. Sequoia, the new one. Sequoia. I gotta remember it. Toyota Sequoia update for the M1 Mac Mini is the culprit, not Sonoma. So there we go. But once again, now I think the problem that I'm having is the difference between Sonoma here and Sequoia over there. All right, so anyways, I've said my piece. Thank you. I appreciate it. We march on. But you know what? We do have a little bit of housekeeping to do. Right off the bat, we have Doc Pops. If you haven't checked yours out, if you're looking at my microphone wondering how did he get that beautiful looking windscreen or pop filter, such an amazing color with such amazing sound, this is the spot. So make sure that you get your Doc Pops. I still have this logo because it's the final pre-sale. Until he takes it off, I won't take it off. So right now you could still be getting a discount on them if you haven't picked them up as well. My friend Raphael has a course on editing with Final Cut Pro, basically a 2-week course that will teach you the ins and outs of Final Cut. If you're interested in learning, that's the course there with the QR code and the URL underneath, the URL. And Ecamm Live is what I'm using to run all of this, to change the displays, to make it fairly easy for me when things are connected and working correctly. Ecamm is what I use for all of my productions, for my remote productions, podcasts, live streams, recorded content, like Amazon videos, everything you name it, I use Ecamm. So if you're interested, use the links below. And yeah. And that's the housekeeping. Now, today we're doing a celebration. So, seeming that it was 200 episodes of this weekly live stream, and I wanted to give back. So, one of the things that I was able to do with this amazing community is open up my fourth wall shop. Let me see if I can get to that. Ooh, oh, too many screens. There we go. And this is my fourth wall shop where I have the ability to purchase some of my merchandise. And this merchandise is stuff that I've actually created myself. So these are my own designs. That music is a bit loud. It might have been a bit loud this entire time, but today's a party and a celebration. Now, why do I bring this up? It's because this is a way where you can come and support me, right? And also get something as well. It's got links to my videos and what I post on YouTube and Instagram. You can make a donation, which goes directly to me, as you can see, to help become the best content creator and father to Aiden that I possibly can. And you could also join the memberships there as well. So, the reason why I bring this up is because this is just a small piece of what I've been able to amass with this amazing community, and this is where I want to give back. So today, for the members only, I'm going to be doing a giveaway of some of my merch. Now, let's go ahead and show you what I'm going to be giving away. You know what? Go back to this screen. And I forgot to make a scene for them, but I'm just gonna throw them on there. So, boop. All right, so we have our Upgrade Your Skills t-shirt. So this is gonna be the first thing. I'm gonna be giving away 3 pieces of merch. And the way that we're gonna do it is that, first of all, you would have to be a member of the Camera Junkie crew. So today's stream was the first stream where I made it members only, where it's not open to the public. So if you're in the chat and you're here and you're present and you want to be part of this giveaway, this is where I'm gonna have you go ahead and just say, I want to be part of the giveaway. So say yes, and just all I'm gonna have you do is write the word giveaway in the chat, and that way will allow me to actually search for that word and find the people and do the appropriate steps, because I'm a one-man band here. So for me to give back, it's not as smooth sailing as it usually is. I'm gonna have to do a couple of things right off the bat, but this is the first thing. I'm gonna be giving away an Upgrade Your Skills t-shirt. Now, the color is gonna be up to you. So this is what's the really cool part about Fourth Wall, that it's gonna allow me to give back to you in the coolest way possible. Now, this is the shirt that's gonna be available, and what's gonna be available for the giveaway is the design, the color, and the size, and everything is gonna be up to you, right? So that way you'll be able to do it according to you. So if you do end up winning in the giveaways, then what I'm gonna have you do is reach out to me through Instagram, and that way I could send you a direct link that will send you to a like privatized, like channel, so that you can select your color, select your size, and order it on me as a gift back to you, the Camera Junkie crew, and to see if maybe we can start doing some more giveaways in the future, to see this also as a trial run. Now, in a couple of weeks, well, actually, in 8 weeks from now, we will have reached episode 208, which I'm going to be doing another type of like celebration live stream, as we have amassed and reached 4 consecutive years of the Camera Junkie live stream, and that's just at episode 208, which is just right around the corner. And man, it's just time flies. I gotta be honest with you as well, this whole week has flown by for me, so like even this episode kind of snuck up on me when I tried to put things together. But with the power of fourth wall, we'll be able to do these things. Now, this is the first thing that I'm going to be doing as far as the giveaway. That's the first shirt, or my first design. Come on. Okay, hold on. That'll be the way. Now, the other designs that I'm going to be giving away is the creator shirt. Now, once again, these are all my designs. Now, actually, I'm going to zoom into this one, okay? So, because, I can't make it bigger than that. I thought I could. What did I just do with it? That wasn't what I was trying to do. Well, if you can see on the inside of the word creator, right, there's a lot of detail, which is also part of my design. It's got like a lot of information particular to the Camera Junkie crew. And as you can see, I put it in a different color. So this is the creator logo shirt that's also going to be available as part of the giveaways. And then the last design is the crew, boom, which has the same insides, as you can see, the same detail on the inside, but instead of saying creator, it says crew, for the Camera Junkie crew. So these are going to be the giveaway items for today's live stream. So I'm going to give you guys some time to put those in, and if you want to be part of it, just type in giveaway in the chat. That way I'll be able to look that up. So because this is time consuming and we're just here hanging out having some fun, I'm just gonna get right into it. So we're gonna see how many. I see 11 hanging out in chat right now. Hey, what's up, Mark? Mark's hanging out with us. Has nice shirts, Mr. Camera Junkie. Thank you, I appreciate it. These are my designs. And thanks for the shout out on your live streams. I really do appreciate it. I clipped that out, believe it or not. You know, that the time that you called me a live streaming god, and now that's on a little folder on my desk. That's the awesome folder, so that I could go to it to like look for the awesome things that I feel that have happened to me on this amazing platform that we call YouTube. So thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for catching a late night live stream. Kathy's over here saying love the creator shirt. Thank you. But I'm also trying to do some other things with the design. So I'm trying to expand on the designs here. So I'm trying to contract. I tried to contract my niece, right? But it hasn't panned out to create some logos for me or some designs, because kind of like Nike, right? You know, the Nike has the just do it, and that's their slogan, and that will always be on a variety of different styles, different designs and things like that. So that's what I kind of want to do with the same, you know, like upgrade your skills moniker that I have. So in the upgrade your skills, I want to be able to put that in a variety of different designs so that they're more appeasing to the general public, right? And that way it could, you know, upgrade your skills could be applied to anything from photography to sports to pretty much anything, whether it comes to competition or just making your life better overall, right? You upgrade your skills, you're in a good position. So that's what I'm thinking about with that, to actually expand on that. And as Kevin just reminded me that I always forget, please be sure to hit the like button. It's highly appreciated. I forget to mention that all the time. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, and with the power of Ecamm, I'm going to put giveaway. Okay, I put that in and I only got 2 people here. So if I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, like I wanted to do this duck race that I got going, but if we only got these things to give away, I can give one of these shirts to each of Kathy and Michael, and I still have another shirt to give away. So yeah, if it's like that, then we have our winners. And I thought that was gonna take a lot longer, right? But yeah, I guess not. So we'll take care of that. I will have both Kathy and Michael hit me up. And you know what, Kevin, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing for you, for Mr. Kevin Cox. And this is just gonna tell you this is something that's a long time coming, because I had tried to send Kevin out some merch a long time ago. Not to speak badly upon anyone, but the people who were providing it never got the merchandise out to him. So I'm also going to do that. So we have our winners and we've done it now. So we're going to have K-Wall Comedy, Kathy. I'm going to have Kathy, Kevin right here, and Michael. I'm just going to have you guys reach out to me on Instagram. And that way I'll send over the links and have something catered to you guys. Now, because those are the 3 designs, I'm just gonna say, you let me know on the Instagram message which one of those merchandise items you want, and I will go ahead and take care of the rest. Oh, we got Gretchen sneaking in here saying happy 200th. Yes, 200 episodes, man. Oh, I was really thinking that this was going to take a lot more time. So because it isn't, I'm just going to go into my, things of what I've been doing. And this past week, I've been getting mostly ready for Creator Camp. And Creator Camp, for those of you who don't know, is a live IRL in real life event that's being hosted by Ecamm. They did their first inaugural event last year, and I was fortunate enough to be part of the crew to participate, and we're doing it all over again. So this October 15th through the 18th, I'm going to be in Amesbury, Massachusetts, hanging out with Doc, Katie, the twins, Ken and Glenn, Mary Lou, a variety of different creators. We have Adrian, Stephanie Garcia. Like, these are all like the camp counselors, or kind of the guides for the remainder of the people who are going to show up. And we're going to have over 100 people hanging out in this small little town of Amesbury, Massachusetts, doing a takeover while we learn and share and just intermingle with like-minded content creators. And that's what I'm going to be doing in just about a couple of weeks, in about 17 days. So now, what have I done to prepare for this? First thing I had to do was pack, right? Like clothes and things like that. And when I went to grab my suitcase, luckily enough that I had a lot of stuff still nice, clean, neat, and folded, ready from my last trip, was just in July. And because of it, I had a lot of my work kind of already done for me. So I was like, that's cool. The next thing is that I'm started preparing what some of you had already seen, which is what I'm really hyped about right now as a camera junkie, which is my run and gun camera setup that I have to record this entire event of Ecamm's Creator Camp. So I have my FX30 camera, and I wanted to kit it out so that I have everything that I need in it and not have to make a lot of adjustments. So just from my prior experience of covering this particular event, I had brought a variety of different cameras for videography, for photography, and my 360 camera to kind of just record and document like behind the scenes data or footage. Because of this, I learned that putting myself in control of 3 separate cameras ended up being a little bit more cumbersome than I wanted to, right? And ended up forgetting certain things, like my 360 camera. I can mention 2 actual occasions where I had my entire 360 camera with the rest of my stuff and I left it behind. One of them was at Creator Camp last year, where I was taking everything out of the vehicle to bring it up to the HQ, and I had placed a 360 camera to record me, you know, like behind the scenes of me doing exactly that. And I put it on the sidewalk, like on a ledge there. And it was like 15 minutes later when I realized, holy crap, I left my brand new, you know, 360 camera outside where anybody could just grab it. Luckily, we're in the amazing town of Amesbury, and it's a quaint, you know, little town where basically everyone knows each other. So it was there untouched, and I was able to retrieve it, luckily. The other time was what happened just in this, it was in July when we were, oh no, I'm sorry, it was in January when we went to Pod Fest. Yep, in Orlando. And Podfest in Orlando, I was also using my 360 camera, and we went to a restaurant, and I just left it in the restaurant. Left it where in the waiting area. So literally, like, anyone could have just grabbed the camera if they would have known what it was. You know, they just probably didn't know what it was because it's just this little 360 camera on like a stick just hanging out there. And anyone that would have known could have easily taken it because I left it in the waiting area. We were sat to eat. We had our meal and we returned it back to the hotel. And luckily, Johnny was able to just go right back to the restaurant and retrieve my camera because I totally like left it behind. So with all of this being said, I wanted to be able to have a run and gun setup where I didn't have to change lenses, make any modifications, and I had everything that I needed all in one package. Now, there's some people who like to make minimalistic camera setups, right? The smallest thing that they can find. I went totally 180. I went maximalist, so to speak. It's a compact setup, but I made sure that I have everything on it that I need. So I'm going to share that with you guys. All right. I'm going to go to this shot, my behind the scenes, and I'm going to pull out the baby. Now, this is my FX30 setup. I'm using this camera so that we can get all of it in the shot, right? So, FX30 setup, V-mount battery, that instead of having a controller for the V-mount battery, I got one of the new smart ones that allows me to use the D-tap directly from the battery to power the camera. And then I have side USB ports and direct ports or barrel plugs on the top, both 8 and 12 volt. So this was the idea right off the bat. I was gonna get a monitor, right, to apply it. That's why I wanted to tap into the 12 volts to power it up indefinitely so that I didn't have to run around with an extra battery on the back of the monitor. But Sony came out with a new monitor and control application, and Jeremy, who's hanging out in the chat, made me privy to this just about a couple of weeks ago, and that totally changed the game on what I was gonna do with the monitor. This song is the jam. For those of you who know DDE, this is basically their end song or their credit song, but I digress. I continue. So this monitor and control app gives me so much control with my iPhone that it exceeded anything that I could have done with a standard monitor for like this entire setup. So instead of just having a big display, I now have complete control, and the best part is that it's wireless. So my HDMI port off onto the side, I'm not actually utilizing it at the moment. I have a wireless signal from the camera directed to the phone, and that's giving me not only the visual aspect that I need for the monitor, but also the ability to change like my ISO, aperture. I could zoom in, I can press record, and I can do all of that through touchscreen. And the most impressive thing is that I also have the touch to focus feature that are built into these Sony cameras directly from that monitor and control app. That changed everything for me. So now, instead of applying a monitor to the top of this camera rig, what I ended up doing was just actually connecting my iPhone here, show you. And now I have my iPhone as my monitor and allowing me to just have one power source to it, because the connection that I need to actually run the image is wireless. So it eliminates that extra cable that I need. All right. My son Aiden is acquiring or requesting my attention. Give me a quick second. What do you need? Okay, you need some more snacks. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So right there, I was like, this is next level. Now, one thing that I might have glossed over is that the FX30, I'm also using the top handle for the audio. Now, the top handle for the audio doesn't require another power source, right? So it's connected directly through the camera itself to power basically everything up on this end, giving me 24-bit audio directly from the shotgun style microphone. And I changed the standard foamy windscreen to this fuzzy one in case I'm outdoors. This gives me better protection against wind, so I upgraded that. But once again, it's connected directly from the top handle connection, or the multimedia interface connection that's on top of these Sony Alpha cameras. And now that's giving me the direct audio that I want to the camera. So that also eliminating another cable connected to like this setup. So what else did I have to do? Some of you are probably looking at this big thing hanging on top, which is my Insta360 camera. So instead of carrying that around somewhere else, I now placed it in a position that allows me to get 360 video, so that I can also record behind the scenes, and it's all in the same location, because now I don't have to go to a different location or thus leave my 360 camera recording somewhere left behind like I have done in the past. So I wanted to make sure that I had it with me at all times. And the same way, if I want to charge it indefinitely, I have a cable that's running off to the side that's being powered directly from the USB tap. So the USB taps on the side, one is powering my iPhone, the second is powering up the Insta360 Go, and the D tap is powering up the camera that's also powering up all the audio here. So 3 connections to this battery, and I have this entire kit like powered indefinitely with this 6800 milliamp hour battery, which is giving me over 12 hours of runtime with all of these things attached to it. Now, what was the last thing that I was like, okay, this is all great for run and gun right here off the bat? The other thing is the lens that I chose. So let's see if we can come around this way to show you what I did. The lens that I chose is the Tamron 17 to 70 zoom. This is a f2.8, so it's pretty decent in low light, but then also gives me the ability to be f2.8 through the entirety of the zoom range, so that I don't have to be changing lenses or changing settings as far as aperture goes, ISO and things like that when I want to zoom into anything. So it's giving me an equivalent field of view or zoom range of 25 millimeters to 105 millimeters, and I have all those focal ranges to play with in between there at f2.8. I then also added a focus wheel, but instead of using it for focus, I have it connected to the zoom side, because Sony cameras have such amazing autofocus. And then on top of that, with the iPhone on the top, I actually have touch to focus and focus tracking with this camera, that I'm gonna allow the camera to do everything that it can with the power of autofocus, allowing me to use the focus wheel to just control the zoom in and out so I can have the smoothest rack of zoom back in and out while I'm doing everything. But the last thing that I wanted to do was saying, hey, you know what happens if I want to interview someone and they're not so close to this microphone, or I want to actually like take it out? This is like my favorite part, when I go wireless. So what I have the ability to do is disconnect the power sources, and because both of these are battery powered, you saw how easily I was able to remove them from my system. It's a wireless control that also has its own battery power because it's an iPhone. The 360 camera, if I'm recording, also has its own battery, allowing me to change position of where I want this to be mounted, both close on top where I have the ability to adjust it at my heart's content, but simply using a NATO rail system where it allows me to place this like little setup or compartment together. So now this is the first part of my wireless setup, allowing me to continue to have access and press record and adjust everything on my camera, even if it's on a tripod, because I don't have to touch it. But at the same time, somebody can grab this and I can see the framing because it's connected wirelessly through the iPhone. And once I go into the top handle, I'm able to flip this little switch in here, and I go, and there's a switch. I don't think you'd be able to see it there. But I'll just let you know that if I were to switch this from the bottom position to the top position, it now negates the XLR connections here on the side and goes directly to the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And now that is what this camera is reading from the top handle. And that's where I ran a bungee little cord, 3.5 millimeter, from that connection here, the 3.5, to my Rode Wireless Go microphones. So by flipping that switch and turning this, and last piece, this, I now have wireless microphones for the person in front of the camera. And if I decide to go rogue and just head out there myself, I still have the ability to have a wireless microphone set up while I'm framing myself and pressing stop and start record wirelessly through this monitor app and wireless microphone setup. But if I decide to give this to somebody that I might be interviewing at the same time, that's when I have the secondary microphone built right here, so that if I'm holding it, they're getting good audio from me who's actually doing the interview behind the camera. And then I'm also getting appropriate audio from the person standing in front of the camera with this microphone, because they're both feeding into the one receiver that's now being plugged into the camera. And the wireless Go's give up to 7 hours of battery life, you know, like by themselves. But if I also needed to power those up, they're also USB-C, which, look, I'm over here talking like if this is the microphone. They're also USB-Cs, which also give me the ability to just plug the cable directly from the tap of the battery itself and power them up indefinitely as well. And that's it in a nutshell, right? The last thing is that I also bought a 1 terabyte CF Express Type A card, which is the one that the FX30 takes. And that's giving me over 37 hours of record time directly to that card. So that one and my original 160 gig card, I have more than enough capacity to have this as like my all-in-one camera setup. This plus my actual iPhone that I'll have on my pocket is pretty much going to be the only thing that I'm going to have to set up to record for this Ecamm's creator camp. So I dedicated, like, well, not dedicated, but yeah, dedicated, but I was meticulous with this setup. And the last thing that I'm going to mention to you to let you know on the details, right? The last thing that I'm going to change is this little knob right here. Now, These are the knobs to tighten and loosen these the rails, the 15-inch rails that are sitting down on the bottom, keeping the follow focus and everything together. It kind of like rubs my hand there, right? So because of it, I'm just gonna replace it with a, you know, like just a screw, so that it will be flush mounted, and once it's tightened, it's not going anywhere. So I'll just leave that with a screw and an Allen key, and that will take that out of the way. I might replace them on all four, right, just to kind of make the entirety of this camera smoother. But this is my 2024 Ecamm Creator Camp run and gun maximalistic setup, right? I even got the little footies here that retract. So if I want to, you know, like kind of place that on a tripod, I can do it. But then at the same time has the ability to, you know, flicker out these feet here and have it based. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention to you is, like I said, I was very meticulous with this build. And the thing that I think I'm proud of the most is that it's so well balanced. I can't emphasize that enough. It is just a hair under 10 pounds. So it is quite a hefty load to be carrying around. But if it's the only thing that you have to carry around, it makes it a lot easier. Now, what makes that even easier is when you have something that's properly balanced, because it's not going to be pulling or tugging on you in any way, shape, or form. So in this same view, right, if you could actually see it, right? Let me try to rock it back a little bit more. If I were, the balance is directly here under the notch. So right under the notch where your hand would go, or kind of like your main finger would go. So directly over the camera body, basically, where your hand would naturally go, is where I have the exact point of balance. So if I were to hold it here, right, just a little bit further back, you can see the camera already starts drooping forward. If I want to like try to put like weight on the front, it already starts rocking backwards. But the best way I can show it, I'm gonna do it with one finger. That's what I mean when it's well balanced. It could be a lot of weight, but it's not gonna be tugging or pulling on you in any way, shape, or form. And I'm pretty shocked because it also doesn't rock from side to side. It literally just lifts up and goes right back down. Lifts up, goes right back down, and just right from that perfect little position. I wish there was something else I could show you, like a rope or something. Right? You can see my finger there. That's it in a nutshell. I put a lot of thought into it to make sure that I didn't miss anything. But if you guys think that there's something else as far as a running gun setup that I missed, let me know. Oh, a couple of other things. I also have a variable ND, so that if I do go outside and I need to darken things up on the fly, I have the ability to do so. Because the FX30 does not have built-in variable ND, so I had to put it on the lens on the outside, and yeah. Oh, and another cool thing, just to show you, the same rail system that I have this set up on, I actually have the 360 camera as well. So that actually detaches, allowing me to put the 360 camera separate, because it's also working off the same NATO rail system. I was looking for a way to put this camera onto the setup, because the way that I had it was pretty much like this, and then it hit me that this was a perfect spot to place the secondary rail. And as soon as I thought of it, I then went and ordered another one of these small rig like NATO rail clamps, because they're just amazing. They're great for camera monitors, but they also give you the ability to, you know, move it side to side. And once again, just, it's almost like all these pieces fell in perfectly together, because the fact that this little thing fits perfectly on the back side of, you know, the monitor stand that I've created to then now put that together. And like I said, in no time I have this entire thing set up. I'm really happy with this. And then at the end of the day, I could also even completely still remove the top handle, disconnect these two cables, and the camera's almost bare bones without all of this extra stuff on top, allowing me to run the Rode Wireless Go 2 microphones directly into the camera without the top handle, thus allowing the battery to last even longer on this setup, because it doesn't have to power all this extra stuff. So there's options and flexibility, and I don't think that I've missed anything on this setup. But if you think I did, if you think I've overlooked something, I would be happy to know. And I would love for you to share that with me to see if maybe I could implement it on this build. I would also love to know what you think of what I've done with this setup. I'm going to be working on a video where I break it all down a little bit better than what I just did right now. Maybe give some better visuals of exactly how I set it up. Oh yeah, because I didn't even get into, you know, the way that I routed the cables right along the handle by just applying a couple of Velcro straps to keep those in line, allowing me to route everything, you know, where it has a purpose. Because this cable being strung out over here and hung up through the front so that it can be connected here is ideal, so that when my hand comes around here, it doesn't get caught with any of these cables on either hand. Once again, let me know what you think. And now I'm going to get back to the chat. All right. Boom. Let's see where we're at. Okay. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so right here where we are. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Says he gets a ton of compliments on the OG design of Upgrade Your Skills. Hey, that means a lot, man. Thank you. Kathy's saying that she wants the creator one. Okay, cool. So that's very kind of you. Very much appreciated. You're sure that nobody else doesn't want to have some Camera Junkie crew merch. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate you being so generous, Kev. But that's also something that I wanted to do on top of that. Like, that was just a long time coming, bro. And Michael said that he's also going to go for the creator, but he'll go for the Upgrade Your Skills. Okay. Gretchen says, sorry I'm late. I was a bit wiped after. You don't have to apologize. After the art show today, but oh, I didn't want to miss the well-deserved celebration. Incredible accomplishment by an incredible man. Thank you so very much. And for those of you new, this is Aiden's adopted grandmother, Grandma Goo. Images by Gretchen. Always appreciate you. I know it's in 2 weeks, but I've started packing. Oh, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've already been getting everything ready. See, Yolanda says the same thing, that she's been getting ready, because it's exciting. Like, this month is over now. So now the month of October is Creator Camp. Like, there's no other little things, projects and things like that. Nope. Now it's just getting focused and ready for Creator Camp. And I just can't wait to just hang out and see everybody over there in Amesbury. I have such good feels, you know what I'm saying? So much love for Amesbury. Like, all my experiences there have been just amazing. So it's just, I kind of love that small little town. Kathy says, I'm thinking of just bringing the Osmo Pocket 3. Yeah, but I'm also very lucky that I'm driving, so I don't have to try to fit this into like an overhead compartment or anything like that. This could pretty much just sit in the front seat or in the back seat next to Aiden, and I get to use it at, in its entirety at Creator Camp. Kathy says, I'm leaving the ZV-1 at home. Yep, I actually think that if anything, I'm thinking just for the photography side. I don't even know where I put it. But the Nikon ZFC. Where did I put it? Been moving so many things around. Oh, I'm using it. Look at me. I'm over here like, where did I put this camera? And it's right here, which is now being blocked by the 360 camera. Moving everything around. So this is my Nikon ZFC, and I'm thinking that I'm just going to use this one with the lens that you see here, the Brighton Star 35mm f1.2, to just be my photography camera for the like scavenger hunt that we're going to be doing in that aspect with the photography. So this is probably going to be like my kind of like film type camera, where it's just going to be the easy just snapshot, so to speak, and then everything else that I'm going to be doing as far as the production goes to make the videos for Ecamm is going to be on that one. I also picked up the M44 Ulanzi tripod. It's nice and light and can even handle my ZV-1. That's nice. I actually have the small rig one, the carbon fiber one from Small Rig. That's the one that I picked up last year. Todd says, sorry, I'm late. Hey, no problem, man. You made it. Because that was so fun. I'm still slowly gathering pieces to put together a similar setup for the ZV-E10. Oh, dude, the ZV-E10, you have the first model, right? Because I'm most likely picking up the Mark II, because it has the same sensor and it's pretty much like it will match perfectly with the FX30. And it's so funny that that's what I had thought, but this guy, somebody that I had put on Cities Gone not too long ago, I'm running a blank now on his name. What's wrong with me? Okay, buddy, I'll take care of it. Aiden's asking me for a lot of stuff. I'll be right with you. James Matthews, that I had him on the Cities Gone not too long ago. He actually just made his latest video of the cheapest cinema camera, and he basically said that the only thing that the ZV-E10 Mark II doesn't have compared to like the FX30 is the shutter angle, which is expected, but also the D-squeeze, the anamorphic D-squeeze. So now, if those are really like the only limitations, those aren't really the features that I use. And when it comes to even though I do use the shutter angle now with the FX30, it wasn't like I wasn't getting around that, before the latest update. So what I was doing was I was already using the variable shutter speed or the variable shutter rate that you had the flexibility on changing on the FX30 and some of Sony's cameras before the update came out of the shutter angle. And I was basically using it to do the same exact thing. So instead of at 125, I was bringing it down to 120 so that it can match the 60 frames per second and doubling that, thus making it the 180-degree angle on the shutter for those shots. I did the same for the 60 and for the 24, where I could actually bring it down to, instead of 50, but to 48. So I was still getting the same functionality with the shutter, the variable shutter angle that Sony gave us, even before the shutter angle. Variable shutter adjustment before the shutter angle. So, correcting my words. Thanks, Kevin. He said, love the fashion and thought that you put into the setup. You can hear your excitement. I am, man. I'm so hyped. I'm using that camera now for stuff around the house for no reason, just because I'm like, oh my God, like I just want to get my hands on it and also see if there's something that I don't like tweaking it here and there. but I put, like I said, I put a lot of thought into the way that I wanted to have that setup. But thank you, man. Said in a nutshell, this is my thing. She goes, that's a giant nutshell. I love it. It's like that's a whole bag of peanuts. A very understated camera. Yes. Hey, Val made it. Says, hey to me and to everyone. Oh my God, I wouldn't. Like, can you imagine trying to fly that thing on a gimbal? No. That's what I said. It's like, it's 10 pounds, but at the same time, it's giving me over 12 hours of battery life for everything on it. And the really cool part is that it has a fast charging battery. So honestly, like, even if it were to be like getting a little bit low on power, which I doubt it, whenever I sit down to have lunch or get a meal, I can literally plug it in for about an hour and get 30 to 50% charge, depending on exactly where it is. Like if it's very low, it starts pumping, you know, like the juice and starts taking charge. But it has one of those smart like adapters, so once it reaches like 80%, it starts slowing down the speed just to make sure that it's like filling it up correctly and things like that. And that's exactly what happens. But depending on where the battery life is and how you can plug it up, you can get up to like 50% charge in an hour. So that is more than enough, like I said, especially when 100% is giving me like 12, so 50% will be like another 6 hours, and I doubt any event will just, you know, is gonna have plenty of power. But then at the same time, unagis, right, unagations, what did I do? I picked up another battery because I really liked the form factor of the newer over the small rig, and I love everything small rig, but the battery, like all the ports on the small rig were on the top part, where this one just has the 8 and 12 volt on top and the USB and D taps on the sides, which is more to my liking. So with the price reduction from the small rig battery to the newer branded batteries, I was able to buy 2 of those sums of, you know. So the same way, I don't have to worry about battery, because even if it were to get down and I needed to charge, I picked up a spare battery of the same, so that I have 2 of these chunky 68,000 milliamp hour batteries on the back of this machine, ready to rock and roll. But that also, let me just show you. It allows me to indulge and kind of like mess around with other camera rigs, as you can see, allowing me to just mess around and try out different things. So this is the fix that I created for the Nikon Z30, and as you can see, it's labeled correctly now as the red Z30. And I had to use the little Ulanzi fan on the inside, so I have a USB to power that indefinitely. And if we can see on the inside, we have a copper heat sink placed on the back side so that it could dissipate the heat faster. That with the D-tap directly from the V mount to the camera, and that's it, ready to rock and roll. And this little guy, using my Akura Diamatic 28mm f2.8 vintage lens, got this nice little handheld rig. Now this is another thing, like I said, I try things out. So right here, I ended up putting this little knob, right? You see, it's just this little knob extension. And the reason why is because the grip was good, but there was no place for my thumb. And this one kind of being back heavy, I needed to have like kind of that forward push onto the thumb. So I just threw that knob, which is just an, you know, like a connection from a quarter 20 to quarter 20, threw that on there. And now that's like my little thumb nub, as you can see. It keeps my thumb away from all the other buttons, but then also gives me complete control of the kit, allowing me to flip out the screen and then use my left hand to focus manually. But if I had the focus puller, I could also throw it on there, because that's the little rail that came on the small rig for it. And like I said, messing around, having fun with cameras as a secondary camera rig or camera cage setup. This one was mostly set up to actually fix the overheating problems that the Nikon Z30 was having. And with the setup like this, believe it or not, and if you can tell, the fan is backed away from the camera body, thus allowing more coverage of the air to, because it was creating like a static flow problem, right? Where the fan was going 100 miles an hour, but because it's so close to the camera body, it could only move so much air before that air was already pushed away from the camera body that needed it to cool off. So putting the fan just an inch back, keeping it away, but instead of adhering it to the back of the camera body, I adhered it to the cage itself. Now it has enough space so that when it starts kicking on the fan, it basically cools off the entire back of the camera with the Ulanzi fan, just giving it that little bit of space. And it's been able to basically record indefinitely. The only negative is that it doesn't record indefinitely because it has a 2 hour and 5 minute cutoff. Okay, we're 10 minutes past it. Which, talking about James Matthews, which he was mentioning the video that I had just mentioned about the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, he mentioned something in that video that stuck with me, and now I'm going to share it with you. So he said the difference between a video camera and a cinema camera is that a camera like the one that you're seeing here, that I have there, that can run indefinitely are great for video, but not necessarily cinema. Because when it comes to cinema and you're shooting, you know, like a documentary or different things like that, like it's usually a bunch of little clippets, right? A bunch of little snippets. So you're creating a shot, you're creating a scene, and that's more in the cinematic world, right? Where, let's say you're creating a movie, you're gonna set up everything and you're gonna have your talent, you know, walk through the shot, say their lines, and you're literally only recording small, fast bursts of like maybe, you know, 5-10 minutes max, you understand? And then you'll stop it, you'll reset, and you'll be like, let's run those lines again. And you will need a camera that has the ability to record that, right? To stay powered up indefinitely, but doesn't have the ability to just record indefinitely, which is where I classify that new Nikon Z30 that I got back there, where it has a limitation because the camera itself will only allow you to record a file up to 2 hours and 5 minutes. But as a cinema camera, it's like perfect, because there's really never gonna be a scene in a movie, right, in an actual production that you're making, that's gonna be a continuous 2.5 hour shot, right? The entirety of your movie will probably be 2 hours and 5 minutes, but not one single drawn out long shot. So when you're using a camera in that sense, where you're just repositioning it, setting up, and you're creating a story, then something like that just might be perfect for you, because it gives you everything that you need. And with a power source like that on such a small camera, is going to allow it to be powered up basically all day. You know, like, so you're going to have the ability to shoot at your heart's content, but you can only shoot a stint of 2 hours and 5 minutes at max, even if you have like infinite amounts of capacity in your camera. So like if I were to throw a 1 terabyte, you know, like memory card into that, I could have hours, you know, like 37 hours of recording space, but I would only have the ability to record at 2 hours and 5 minutes at a time at max. And that's where I think the FX30 really takes it to that next step. On top of it being a cinema camera, right, that can do all of those things, it is also a great video camera, right, where it can just record indefinitely. Fan is not going to overheat, it can just be powered indefinitely, and you can use it for instances like this, for like live streaming, where the camera is not going to have overheating issues. And if you need to be live, a continuous shot for, you know, 5-hour energy streams, like we joke around, where we can be on here for multiple hours, you know, if you're doing a webinar and different things like that, you can spend hours in front of your camera. And if you needed it to be recording 2 hours and 5 minutes, might not be enough, right, for you in that case. And that's the difference between like a cinema camera and a video camera, because I also don't think that, well, they probably have the capability to do so. And this, I'm just saying hypothetically, of like an RE camera, right? Something that they would be using in Hollywood for a movie production. Hey, I think it should have the capability, but they're never going to use it that way. You're never going to have a 2.5 hour or 2 hours, 5 minutes continuous shot on any of these cameras. And I don't even know if they'd hold up, but that's another soliloquy, another rant. Hey, G. Albert's in the house. He also has a question. It says, hey, Lewis, real quick. On my Mac Mini M1, all of my pictures and media looks like I'm looking at a negative or inverted image. Any hint? You might have your colors inverted. So go into the settings into the Mac Mini, right? And once you're in the settings, you should have a search bar and search invert. Right? It should give you the option for the inverted colors, and that might be something that you accidentally toggled on, and you just would need to toggle that off. So look at that first. Hey, Jarrell is in the house saying congrats on 200. Thank you, brother. Thanks for hanging out. October is huge for me. 3 grandkids' birthdays and creator camp. Whoa. Hey, John Van is in the house saying happy for you, Lewis, to reach 200. Many congrats. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you hanging out. More things to put on purchase for my life. What? Okay, it says more things to put on the purchase list for my wife's approval. Okay, I got it now. Ernesto's in the house saying congrats. Thank you, brother. Says 200 episodes. Sorry I'm late. Bro, never late. When you make it on time. The way I see it is like, this is like the weekly bar, right? And if we're saying, hey, we're going to meet at the bar, you never show up 15 minutes late and say, hey, guys, sorry I'm 15 minutes late. You just be like, hey, I made it. And we're all happy that you showed up. So thank you for showing up. Just like Scott saying hi to the crew, saying, hey, Scott, you made it, bro. You made it. You made it on time because this was the right time. And he's saying what's up to the crew. And G. Albert says, bingo, that worked. See? Inverted colors, and that's basically it. But guys, we've done it, okay? So we're going to be closing things out as normal. So I should be able to do this and go Cities Ga, right? This is what we're going to be doing right now. I got too many graphics on screen. So Cities Ga, channels that I think you should go and watch. And let me make sure that I have that person up correctly. Make sure I got my screens on. There we go. Boom. There we go. And now we hit this button. No. This button. There we go. And then that button. Bam. Cities Got. And it's none other than Mr. Lee Zavitz. Now, if you haven't heard of Mr. Lee Zavitz, let me be the one to introduce this content creator. He is a camera junkie, as you can tell. He shoots a variety. Oh, whoa. That's what happens when you hit the wrong button. Final Cut Pro just opened up in my face. Okay, we closed that out. Back to this, Mr. Lee Zavitz. He's a camera junkie, as you can tell. One of his latest videos is something that I'm going to be doing very soon. It says this iPhone 16 Pro photographer's first impressions, because he dabbles in all the cameras. So he was going to give you aspects on editing, hardware, like software, right, on programs. He shoots Sony, Fuji, like he's polycameras, as I like to say. And yeah, and he's an amazing content creator. I've been following him for years. As you can see, he does a variety of different types of camera brands and a variety of content based around it. Look, he's even got one about his YouTube studio setup for 2024 and how he's got things set up. So if you haven't heard of this content creator, I will be very glad to be the first one to introduce you to Mr. Lee Zavitz, this week's Cities Ga, channels that I think you should go and watch. And we did it, guys. That's the way we do it. This has been episode 200, and I gotta thank all of you, as I do week in and week out, for making this my favorite place to be at every single week. Oh yes, I gotta throw this on there. Scott says I almost forgot Krispy Kreme for everyone. Yes, You know what? That should be something that I should celebrate. I should probably go and get me a Krispy Kreme. They're not too far from my home and they're open 24 hours. So I haven't done it in such a long time. You might have just convinced me, Scott. Valerie says it's so amazing that you're celebrating 200. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Oh, she says congratulations. I was reading, I'm like, what did it say there? That's so awesome. But guys, as always, this has been episode 200. So if you haven't got the gist of it so far, let me just make it super clear. This has been episode 200, and this is 200 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream without skipping a beat. Now, 208 in 8 weeks, we're gonna reach 4 years consecutive of the Camera Junkie live stream, and it's because of all of you amazing camera junkies week in and week out that make this the place where I want to be, without a doubt. So guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And for those of you that I have mentioned before, reach out to me on Instagram so that I can send you the links for the merch giveaway that I'm doing as my gift to you. It's just a small token of what you guys mean to me. So thank you as always, everyone. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I can't wait to see all of your smiling faces while we do it right here again, same time, same place on the Camera Junkie YouTube channel. Till then, talk to you.